NAFA League, and NAFA League is also the coordinator of the Nigerian Secondary Schools Flag Football League. Tobi, thank you so much for coming through tonight on Game On. It's an absolute pleasure. You've been here all day, and happy, do I say happy Easter to you and the good people at NAFA?
We're actually preparing for that, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, done and dusted, the Under-13 League was really good to see, and there are those who continue to believe that flag football is really doing what a lot of other sporting codes is not doing, because you are really going to the basics, the under-10s, the under-13s. I'm struggling to think of any other sporting code in Nigeria that has an under-13 league or under-13 competition. So why is the focus, the emphasis really on these youth or grassroots programs?
All right, so first correction is flag football is the fastest growing sport in the world, actually.
Oh, not only in Nigeria?
Not only in Nigeria.
Oh, wow, okay,
so
corrected.
The truth is, NAFA decided to take the sport to the grassroots because, first and foremost, the sport is such a new sport, and Nigeria being a quote-unquote soccer-loving country, it will be a bit difficult to penetrate the older generation. So we decided to start, the sport from the base to create a new generation of sport lovers who know and identify with flag football, not necessarily play it so much, but, they should know the game, know that this sport has come to stay. But to our surprise, the game has been so much embraced by these young, wonderful prodigies, and they're playing it to the point where it's even beyond our country at this point, because we have schools who organize mini competitions within themselves, against themselves, exhibition games, and that shows us that it has not only been accepted. In years to come, we'll see flag football as a force of nature for sport in Nigeria, competing with the big heavyweights of sport in the country. Interestingly,
only 2 states participated in the inaugural event. This is the inaugural event, isn't it?
No, this is the second
edition.
This is the second
event, I beg your pardon. Lagos and Kwara. So it now begins to question whether this sport is really spreading.
Okay. Yeah? So it's actually 3.
3, okay.
Actually, we had schools from Lagos, more schools from Lagos. We had a school from, 2 schools from Ibadan,
okay, from Oyo State, okay.
And then we had 2 schools from Kwara. We were supposed to have other schools come from Abuja, from Akwa Ibom, but unfortunately, this is a school sport, and these schools are actually in session preparing for the examination.
Yeah,
so some schools
so the timing wasn't the best.
Okay. So that's why we had limited participation, and we had to fill those slots with more schools in Lagos State.
So how crucial is it for flag football in Nigeria in terms of building these blocks right now at the basement, at the grassroots, getting these athletes into the sport? Because you guys are doing remarkably well in flag football. For those who don't know, Nigeria actually African male and female champions in flag football. You representing the continent at the World Championships in Dusseldorf in just a few months. So how crucial is it for you to start these building blocks of the grassroots, the underage competitions at this particular point in time?
So it is so crucial because we understand the fact that these young minds easily assimilate things if you put it to them, and as they are, ordinarily sport is a tool to keep them engaged, help them with their cognitive and psychomotor domains of development.
True, hand-eye coordination, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, as flag football, a new sport come in, when they get involved and they play to a certain level, we know that, when they move up in the age category and they get up to that level, they will be able to represent the country at some point. But beyond that, we know that flag football is now a sport that will change the narrative. It's a sport that is not yet so vast, and it will provide opportunities for these kids to live, not just live, but create a niche, carve a niche for them to get involved in the sport, and then see how it can help them with a sporting pathway to the global community, travel out, get involved in NFL and all the likes.
You said opportunity, so you're saying that it's a possibility that you can play flag football in Nigeria, probably get a scholarship to the US?
So we have some of our players who started with the Nigeria Secondary Schools Flag Football League. They started when we started, and they are currently on scholarship in the United States.
Oh wow! And
some of them also tried out for combines in the UK as well. So trust me.
So there is a clear, definite pathway for these kids.
Exactly. So as what NAFA has done so far is to ensure that the sport is not just introduced to Nigerian populace, but to let them understand that there are opportunities in this sport that is not so vast yet, but obviously when a lot of kids come into the sport and they get involved, you know, we start seeing more and more talents come out from the sport.
Okay. I think you have a final question.
Tobi, I mean, first of all, you're starting to speak from the, or rather, you're speaking in a narrative that parents want to hear, and I'll be coming from the angle of a parent as well. You know, first of all,
you have kids now, okay?
I don't have kids, but I'm putting on the hat of the parents. No comments. I'm putting on the hat of the parents, and you know, first of all, when I personally started reporting flag football here at New Central, some people reach out to me and say that they feel like flag football is elitist.
Okay.
You know, majorly because, like you did say, it was hard for you guys to break into the adult sector, because even at the adult sector, it seemed to be only people who had maybe lived outside of Nigeria before they then relocated to Nigeria that were interested in it. So, two questions for you: what has been the process, or rather, how can you explain to parents that this sport is not elitist?
Okay.
What is the best way for kids who are interested to get into it? And the final question is, you know, when parents hear flag football or hear American football, they just think combat. They think that physical contact.
Yeah.
We know that flag football is a different derivation. So the question is, how safe is flag football for kids to get involved with?
All right, so I'll go with the first question. Maybe to eliminate the narrative that flag football is elitist, all right? You rightly said it initially, you know, those who came with flag football introduced the game to Nigerians, especially in Lagos here. Maybe they lived over there or they schooled over there. But what NAFA and via the Nigerian Secondary Schools Flag Football League has been able to do is train. I mean, we're in 18 states currently. We've been able to introduce this sport to kids majorly in public schools. That is actually deliberate, you know, step taken to ensure that, I mean, in the Nigerian Secondary Schools Flag Football League, over 90% of the schools that participate are public schools, students from public schools. So I don't know how that is so elitist. So for parents, they need to understand that getting into flag football is so easy. We decided to partner with the Nigerian School Sports Federation, who are wonderful partners over the years, to ensure that, you know, I mean, to get kids, we have to go into the schools. We can't just go from door to door, knocking to try to get them involved in the sport. So we go to schools, introduce the game to them, and then they set up a team and they participate in the Nigerian Secondary Schools Flag Football League. Now, for the second question, the name flag football and American football, they're different names and they have different models of engagement, right? For flag football, what you just need to do is to have a flag belt on your waist and, you know, with a ball, and you run, try to get into the opponent's goal area, which you call the end zone, and then you score a touchdown. Yes, of course, you know, the other players on the other opposing team wouldn't let you do that, but for them to stop you, they won't grab onto you or hold you or bring you down like American football. It's non-contact. They just pull the flag off your waist and then they stop you. And that's actually very, very safe.
Okay, well, we also, don't forget that we also have Kazim Elegbede, who is joining us all the way from the United States of America as well. Kazim, I know you were a dyed-in-the-wool, do I say unapologetic football fan, but I really need to ask, have you been getting into the American football fever? Because I've seen quite a lot of people who, the moment they made the crossover to the United States, they forgot about football and they are now, do I say, disciples of gridiron. Have you taken that up by any chance?
No, not really today. Actually, here in Houston, you will be surprised that they have a lot of facilities for soccer. You know, very, very big facilities. So, I mean, they call it soccer, that is football. What we know as football, they call it soccer. So one is still fully engaged with our football the way it is. And that has not really given me a chance to even say I want to buy into American football and what have you. But that will be in future, definitely, because I'm picked. I'm interested. I want to know the rules of the game and all that. It's rough. If you are not strong, you are not fit, you cannot play that game. So I just want to understand it. But I mean, I'm impressed that there are a lot of soccer facilities in the communities, which ordinarily Nigeria could copy. I mean, we really, really elevate our football. Because I mean, America is not a football playing nation, but they don't joke with their recreation. And that is why we have some facilities around.
Well, you know what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So I'd be surprised if you had told me that you're already into American football. But China, I mean, this sport is spreading fast, like wildfire all across Nigeria. And I mean, even the last secondary school flag competition, you had a team from River State as well that also participated as well.
Yeah.
One also from Akwa Ibom State as well. Is there a possibility that someday in River State we might see flag football probably go neck to neck with football?
That'd be a tough call, right? But I'm impressed that we are trying out new sports. Like we all know in Nigeria, we say football is the king of all sports. But when I see Nigeria trying to learn some new sports, American sports, what we are not used to, then listen, with time, it's going to grow. But football will remain the king of sports in Nigeria because we are just too fixated on football. But I hope that these other sports will grow as fast as possible.
Well, one sport that I know that will be difficult to grow in Nigeria will be baseball, because I really don't see that one happening. But we've been speaking to Tobi Abe, who is one of the brains behind the just concluded National Under-13 flag football championship that was held here in Lagos. He's also the grassroots leads of NAFA and the league coordinator of the Nigerian Secondary Schools Flag Football League. Tobi, thank you so much for your time. We'll be keeping in touch with you and NAFA as your programs continue through the year. Also, hopefully we'll be following you to Dusseldorf to cover Nigeria's maiden participation at the World Championships. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Right. So let's talk